I am an orthopedic surgeon, and throughout my career, I have operated on more than 12,000 patients over the age of 60. And I can say without hesitation, the most popular exercise in the world, the one that for decades has been sold as the best natural remedy for healthy aging, is silently destroying millions of knees, hips, and spines every year. Yes, I'm talking about walking. For decades, we've heard that walking is the best exercise. Doctors, magazines, and even public health campaigns have repeated this idea countless times. And in fact, walking does have its benefits. It improves circulation, helps the heart, stimulates metabolism, and is good for the mind. But what surgeons are observing in operating rooms around the world shows another side of the story. A side no one is talking about. Patients who walk every day, some even proud of their 10,000 daily steps, are arriving at hospitals with serious knee injuries, joint inflammation, and cartilage wear so advanced that bone starts grinding against bone as if there were sand between the joints. This is no coincidence. It's the result of years of repetitive micro-impacts on joints that no longer have the same protection and flexibility of youth. Once the body passes age 60, cartilage, that soft, elastic tissue that cushions the joints, loses some of its ability to absorb impact. And walking, when done without muscle strengthening, without varied movement, and on hard surfaces, turns into an exercise of constant friction. The result? Chronic inflammation, pain, morning stiffness, and over time, loss of mobility. What many believe to be a healthy lifestyle may in fact be accelerating joint wear. And there's another important aspect. Behind the idea that walking is enough lies an entire industry. The global market for athletic shoes, step trackers, and products related to walking fitness exceeds $300 billion a year. Sneaker brands, apps, and even pharmaceutical companies profit every time you believe that walking alone is enough to take care of your health. But modern science shows that the human body needs something more complete and more intelligent. Today, orthopedics, physiology, and vascular medicine have already identified 5 proven types of movement that can reverse some muscle loss, improve circulation, protect bones, and reduce the risk of fractures and falls by up to 40%. Before we continue, I want to leave you with a reflection. How many minutes a day do you walk? And do you truly feel that this time makes you stronger, more stable, more confident? If the answer is not always, then you need to know what modern medicine has discovered. And the first of these movements might surprise you, because it's simple, doesn't require the floor or extreme strength. But it's one of the most effective exercises for strengthening the entire body and protecting your joints. Wall push-ups, or as the experts call them, wall push-ups with progressive resistance. Wall push-ups, the underrated exercise that saves your shoulders and strengthens your body. Most people associate push-ups with young athletes, military personnel, or gym goers. But the truth is that wall push-ups are one of the most powerful and underrated tools for maintaining functional strength after age 60. Research from the American College of Sports Medicine followed seniors who did modified push-ups 3 times a week and compared the results with another group that only walked daily. The results were impressive. In just 8 weeks, the push-up group had a 34% increase in functional strength, while the walking group saw only 7%. The secret of this exercise lies in its ability to work several muscle groups at the same time: chest, shoulders, arms, and most importantly, the core, the abdominal and lower back muscles that support balance and prevent falls. And this isn't just about strength. These muscles are responsible for something essential: the ability to react when you trip or lose balance. When you have strength in your torso and arms, you can brace yourself, push your body up, and avoid serious falls. When you don't, a small slip can turn into a hip fracture. And we know how drastically that can change an elderly person's life. To start, position yourself about 1 arm's length away from a wall. Place your palms on the wall at shoulder height, about chest width apart. Keep your body straight, from heels to head, and slowly lean forward until your nose almost touches the wall. Then, push your body back to the starting position, The key is to keep your core tight and control the movement. Don't rush it. When this becomes easy, just take a small step back. That simple adjustment increases the angle of your body, and as a result, the intensity of the exercise. Studies from the Cleveland Clinic have shown that maintaining upper body strength after age 60 reduces the risk of shoulder injuries by 41%, especially the dreaded rotator cuff tears, one of the leading causes of surgery among seniors. In addition, the positive impact extends to your bones. Research shows that people who regularly do wall push-ups increase bone density in their arms and shoulders by nearly 3%, a natural defense against osteoporosis, and the results appear quickly. Margaret, a 68-year-old retired teacher, said she could barely open a jar because of weakness in her hands. After 1 month of daily wall push-ups, not only could she open the jar, she also noticed she had more energy and less back pain. These small improvements are the foundation of independence. They are what keep the body capable of living with freedom and dignity. The power of the chair squat. The movement that preserves your independence. If there's one movement that separates independence from dependence in old age, it's this: the act of sitting down and standing up. It seems simple, but anyone who works in hospitals and rehab clinics knows when a patient loses the ability to stand up on their own, they lose more than strength. They lose autonomy. That's why surgeons and physiologists call the chair squat the real-life exercise. You do it dozens of times a day, getting up from bed, from the table, from the couch, from the toilet. And what many don't realize is that over time, this natural movement becomes harder, not because the body is aging, but because the muscles are no longer trained to do it. Research published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity showed that seniors who performed chair squats 3 times a week improved their sit-to-stand time by 43% and reduced their risk of developing mobility impairment by 38% in just 2 years. These numbers are impressive and show the power of a simple exercise done with awareness. But to understand why it's so effective, we need to look inside the body. When you perform a squat, you activate the largest muscles in the human body at once: the glutes, quadriceps, hamstrings, spinal erectors, and the core. These muscles work together to control the downward motion, the eccentric phase, and to push the body back up, the concentric phase. This is exactly where the difference lies between walking and squatting. Walking is repetitive and works only part of the leg muscles, with low-strength stimulus. Squatting, on the other hand, involves the entire body in a kinetic chain, strengthening everything from the feet to the abs, and activating deep muscles that support the joints. Over time, this leads to something much more important than aesthetics: stability, safety, and endurance. Loss of leg strength, especially in the quadriceps, is one of the first signs of sarcopenia, the natural loss of muscle mass with aging. Studies show that between the ages of 50 and 80, the quadriceps can lose up to 40% of its mass if not exercised. And when it weakens, everything around it starts to fail: overloaded knees, lower back pain, and even trouble climbing a single step. The secret is in the descent. That control is what we call eccentric training, and it's what produces the greatest gains in strength and stability in older adults. Research from the National Institute on Aging has shown that eccentric-focused exercises increase muscle mass by up to 10% with less cardiovascular stress, making them ideal for people with high blood pressure or heart problems. To start, do 8 to 10 repetitions per day. When you feel confident, increase to 2 or 3 sets. And never forget, it's better to do it slowly and correctly than quickly and poorly. The chair squat also has a direct effect on the brain. During the movement, the body must coordinate strength, balance, and spatial awareness, which stimulates the brain regions responsible for attention and decision-making. That's why recent studies point to a connection between leg strength and cognition. The stronger the body, the more active the brain. And there are real-life stories that prove this. Robert, a 71-year-old grandfather, said he needed help just to get out of his living room chair. After 3 months of daily chair squats, he not only got back to standing on his own, but also started playing on the floor with his grandkids. something he hadn't done in years. His posture improved, knee pain decreased, and most importantly, he regained self-confidence. But there's one essential detail. This exercise should not be rushed. As the body ages, reflexes slow and tendons become stiffer. That's why breathing and pacing are part of the workout. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you rise. This coordinated breathing keeps oxygen flowing and reduces the risk of dizziness. And if you have arthritis, a knee replacement, or mobility limitations, it's not a problem. Start with a higher chair. Use your hands for support at first and reduce the range of motion. Over time, as your muscles get stronger, you'll be able to do full squats, and each repetition will feel like a victory. By training your legs, you're literally helping your heart pump better. And of course, there's the emotional impact. When a 70, 80, or even 90-year-old can get up from a chair alone without pain or help, they feel something no pill can give them. Dignity. It's the feeling of, I still can. And that changes everything. That's why the chair squat isn't just an exercise. It's a daily reminder that the body is still capable of responding, adapting, and growing, even after 70. One-leg balance. The test that reveals your true biological age. If I could recommend just one test to assess the overall health of someone over 60, it wouldn't be blood pressure, cholesterol, or weight. It would be this: standing on one leg. It may sound like a joke, but it's pure science. Research conducted by the Mayo Clinic and Fukuoka University in Japan followed thousands of adults over 60 for more than a decade and discovered something surprising. Those who could stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds had a 50% lower risk of mortality over the next 7 years. This means that balance is one of the most reliable indicators of longevity and, more importantly, of quality of life. But why is something so simple so important? These three systems work together like an orchestra. If one of them fails, the body loses stability. And the older we get, the harder it is to coordinate them, unless we keep training. That's why balance isn't just a gift. It's a skill that can and should be maintained. The good news is that it responds quickly to stimulation, even in people aged 70, 80, or 90. A study published in the British Medical Journal showed that older adults who practiced one-leg balance exercises for just 5 minutes a day reduced their risk of falls by 36% and increased walking speed by 12% after a few weeks. These results are incredible because a simple improvement in balance has a cascading effect throughout the body. It improves posture, reduces joint pain, and even boosts emotional confidence. Let's understand how to do it correctly. The exercise is simple, but it should be done safely. Start near a wall, a sturdy chair, or the kitchen sink for support. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart and look at a fixed point in front of you. Slowly lift one foot off the ground just a few inches, keeping your body upright and your core slightly engaged. Breathe normally and hold the position as long as you can, without holding your breath. At first, you may only manage 5 seconds, and that's okay. With practice, this time will naturally increase. The important thing is to feel your body responding, adjusting, with your leg and core muscles activating automatically. When you feel more confident, try closing your eyes for a few seconds. This removes visual support and forces your body to rely more on the vestibular and proprioceptive systems. Another variation is to do the exercise on a soft surface, like a folded towel or cushion, which intensifies the work of the stabilizing muscles in the ankles and hips. These small variations train the brain to quickly adapt to real-life situations, like walking on uneven terrain or climbing stairs. And that's where the magic happens. Each micro-adjustment made by the body during the exercise sends electrical signals to the brain, strengthening the neural connections responsible for coordination and reflexes. Over time, these connections grow stronger. This is what we call neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to rewire itself, create new pathways, and adapt to stimuli. For a long time, it was believed this stopped in youth, but we now know the brain continues to learn and renew itself even after age 80, as long as it's challenged. And one-leg balance is one of the most effective ways to do just that. In addition, it activates muscles that are rarely trained during walking, such as the deep ankle stabilizers, the adductors, and the gluteus medius, all essential for preventing falls and sprains. These muscles weaken quickly with inactivity, but respond surprisingly well when stimulated regularly. Want a practical example? Dorothy, a 74-year-old woman, had stopped leaving her house after a minor fall on a wet sidewalk. For 6 weeks, she practiced the balance exercise daily, starting with 10 seconds per leg and gradually progressing. 2 months later, she was back walking in the park with confidence and security. She said something I never forgot. "I realized it wasn't my body that was weak. It was my confidence." And that sentence perfectly sums up what balance gives back: self-confidence. Because the body and mind work together. When you feel capable of holding yourself up, reacting, and moving with stability, it changes the way you live day to day. And there's more. Studies from Harvard Medical School revealed that regular balance training increases the volume of gray matter in the brain, especially in the areas responsible for attention and motor coordination. In other words, the brain literally grows with movement. Now think about this. Balance doesn't require strength, equipment, or even time. It only requires attention and consistency. It's 30 seconds of practice that, repeated daily, could mean extra years of independence and clarity. So here's the challenge. Try balancing on one leg while brushing your teeth, waiting for your coffee, or watching TV. Turn this simple act into a daily ritual. Every second counts. And remember, the body ages when it stops being challenged. But when you invite it to respond, it always does. If you look closely, you'll notice that most older people walk with their bodies slightly leaning forward as if carrying an invisible weight on their shoulders. This slouch, often called the age hump, has a technical name: thoracic hyperkyphosis. It's more than an aesthetic issue. It's a functional problem that reduces lung capacity, affects balance, and increases the risk of falls by up to 45%. Why does this happen? Over time, the muscles that keep the spine upright, especially the rhomboids, trapezius, and rear deltoids, weaken. Meanwhile, the front muscles, like the chest, shorten due to habits like driving, using a phone, or sitting for long periods. Supported by research from universities like UCLA and the University of Tokyo, resistance band rows. This exercise mimics the natural pulling motion, strengthening exactly the muscles that support posture and opening up the chest cavity. In a study of seniors aged 65 to 80, published in the Archives of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation, those who performed rows 3 times a week for 2 months improved their postural alignment by 3.2 centimeters, reduced back pain by 58%, and increased their lung capacity by an average of 23%. This happens because when the spine is aligned, the chest expands, and the lungs can take in more air with less effort. It seems simple, but it's profoundly transformative. When the body straightens up, everything improves: breathing, digestion, balance, and even mood. And it's not an exaggeration. Science has already shown that posture directly influences emotional state and self-confidence. To get started, all you need is a light or medium resistance band. Attach it to a fixed point at chest height. It could be a doorknob, a pillar, or even a stair railing. Then, hold the ends of the band with your palms facing each other. Step back until you feel light tension and keep your feet firmly planted, shoulder width apart. Now comes the crucial part. Pull your hands toward your body until they reach rib height, keeping your elbows close to your torso and your shoulders relaxed. Imagine you're trying to crack a nut between your shoulder blades. This mental image helps activate the right muscles, the upper back, instead of just the arms. Then, slowly return to the starting position, controlling the movement. Repeat 10 to 15 times, breathing deeply with each repetition. The key here is control, not strength. The movement should be smooth, with no jerking, and should respect your body's rhythm. Over time, as the exercise becomes easier, increase your distance from the band or switch to one with higher resistance. One of the main advantages of a resistance band is what we call progressive resistance. Unlike traditional weights, which provide constant load throughout the movement, the band becomes more intense as it stretches. This means the muscles work harder as the motion progresses, which is perfect for building strength without overloading the joints. Studies from Harvard Medical School have shown that improving posture increases oxygen levels in the blood, reduces blood pressure, and lowers the stress hormone cortisol. This creates an immediate sense of energy and well-being. Another lesser-known benefit is the strengthening of the main respiratory muscle, the diaphragm. When you pull the band and keep your torso stable, the diaphragm works more efficiently, which improves oxygen intake and physical endurance. That's why many Japanese hospitals use rowing exercises during post-surgery rehabilitation, especially for cardiac and respiratory patients. But perhaps the most profound impact is invisible: the confidence of standing tall. An upright posture communicates vitality, presence, and self-esteem, something many older adults lose without realizing. Slouching isn't just uncomfortable. It sends a constant message to the brain of weakness and aging. When you straighten your body, the brain perceives strength, and that changes how you move and even how you speak. Tai Chi, the exercise that reprograms your brain and rejuvenates your body. Among all the exercises I've prescribed in over 20 years of practice, there is one that continues to surprise me with every new study and every new patient who tries it. It's Tai Chi, an ancient Chinese practice that modern medicine has rediscovered as one of the most powerful methods for preserving balance, strength, flexibility, and mental clarity after age 60. It's not a typical exercise. It's a kind of meditation in motion that combines breathing, body awareness, and intentional slowness. And it's precisely in that slowness that the secret lies. Unlike traditional workouts, Tai Chi teaches the body to move with complete control, activating muscles, joints, and brain circuits all at once. In studies conducted by Harvard Medical School, seniors who practiced Tai Chi for just 20 minutes 3 times a week reduced their risk of falling by 47%, a result superior to all other types of exercises tested, including strength training and walking. But the impact goes far beyond fall prevention. Tai Chi literally reprograms the brain. Functional MRI studies have shown that regular practitioners have increased gray matter in areas of the brain responsible for movement, memory, and coordination: the motor cortex, hippocampus, and prefrontal cortex. In simple terms, this means that the practice strengthens not only the body, but also the mind. While many exercises focus on muscles, Tai Chi works the communication between the brain and the body, making each movement, no matter how slow, a neurological challenge. Tai Chi also reduces stress on a deep level. When we move slowly and breathe consciously, the autonomic nervous system activates the parasympathetic mode, the one responsible for restoring the body's balance, slowing the heart rate, and improving digestion. This lowers cortisol levels, the primary hormone linked to chronic inflammation and premature aging. In a fast-paced world, Tai Chi is the perfect antidote. It teaches that slowness can heal. The continuous flow of movements massages the joints, stimulates synovial fluid, which lubricates the knees and hips and maintains muscle elasticity. It's a full-body workout, but without pain, without impact, and without the need for equipment. This ability is what maintains independence and physical safety even in later years. It's no wonder that rehabilitation hospitals in China, Japan, and even Harvard have included Tai Chi in programs for seniors and patients with Parkinson's, stroke, and joint conditions. It restores trust in the body and brings back the fluidity of movement that modern life has taken away. In short, Tai Chi is the meeting point between body, mind, and longevity. It teaches us that aging doesn't have to mean stiffness or limitation, but instead, refinement and awareness. In just 20 minutes a day, you can transform how you move, breathe, and think. And the most inspiring part is that this practice doesn't require youth, just the willingness to begin. As an old Chinese proverb says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So no matter your age, start today. Because movement is life, and Tai Chi is the movement that keeps that life flowing with calm, balance, and strength.